Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week wisdom and legacy building podcast. Today is day 541 of our trek, and it is Wisdom Wednesday. Every Wednesday along Life's Trail, we will dig for the nuggets of wisdom that are found in the book of Proverbs. Today, we'll explore the second half of chapter 29. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. On the day this trek is released will be our last full day of the podcast movement cruise. It is our hope that it will be both relaxing and a good opportunity to listen to and learn from others who podcast. On Wisdom Trek Day 537, we explored the concept of how we can do better listening. We need to listen to learn. Anytime we are speaking, we cannot be learning. In verse 20 of this passage reminds us, if a person speaks without thinking, there is more hope for a fool. So let's start in as we explore verses 15 through 27. These are more Proverbs of Solomon recorded by King Hezekiah. Verse 15. To discipline a child is to produce wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child. Most of us think of discipline in a negative connotation, but it definitely doesn't need to be. The root of discipline is to disciple or mentor another person. Children and even adults need to be discipled throughout their lives. A parent is neglecting their children if they do not discipline them, because that is how they learn and gain wisdom. Otherwise, they will disgrace themselves and their parents. Verse number 16. When the wicked are in authority, sin flourishes, but the godly will live to see their downfall. This is so evident in a nation, in businesses, in organizations, in schools, and even in families. When they are led by a person who is without integrity, then bad practices and wicked deeds will flourish. If they have integrity and do what is correct and follow God's precepts, then they will see victory over those who do not. Verse number 17. Discipline your children, and they will give you a peace of mind, and will make your heart glad. We as parents and grandparents need to actively disciple and mentor those whom we influence. When they learn the lessons, it will bring peace of mind and a glad heart to all. Verse number 18. When people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild, but whoever obeys the law is joyful. Whether it's children or adults, if they do not accept the lessons that are being taught, there will be chaos, heartbreak, and anger. Those who do learn their lesson will have joy. Verse number 19. Words alone will not discipline a servant. The words may be understood, but they are not heeded. As part of discipline and mentoring, we just cannot tell someone. We must actively show them, both through lessons and examples. It is one thing to have head knowledge about a matter, quite different to have a working hands-on knowledge. Verse number 20. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. We all fall victims to engaging our tongue without engaging our brains. When we do this, what spews out of our mouth is not good. If we continually make this a habit, we will become a fool, and that fool will be without hope. Verse number 21. A servant pampered from childhood will become a rebel. Everyone needs to be disciplined as part of their training. Whether it is a servant, employee, or child, if we do not have discipline in our lives, we will rebel, and we will do what is foolish. Verse number 22. An angry person starts fights. A hot-tempered person commits all kinds of sins. Controlling your anger is so important. When we cannot control ourselves, then we will all the times be getting into fight and all sorts of troubles. As with many other verses in this passage, the lack of discipline in a person's life will result in unruly behavior. Self-discipline is so important. Verse number 23. Pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor. Pride is the downfall of many. In fact, most sinful or wicked behavior has its roots in pride. Inevitably, a person who is full of pride will end up in a very humiliating situation, which could impact multiple areas of their lives. If instead we choose to remain humble ourselves, we will find that honor is granted to us. It is important that that honor does not lead us to become prideful. Verse number 24. If you assist a thief, you only hurt yourself. You are sworn to tell the truth, but you dare not testify. We should not assist or support those who do wrong. In this verse, it mentions a thief, but it could apply to any other action. If we assist those who do wrong, when we are called into a legal battle, we will either have to lie or avoid testifying to protect ourselves. Neither is a good or right option. Verse number 25. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting in the Lord means safety. We should not be fearful of other people, and I realize that certain situations could cause us harm either physically or emotionally, but it should not be able to harm us spiritually. By trusting in the Lord, we will have His safety over us. Verse number 26. Many seek a ruler's favor, but justice comes from the Lord. We all have the tendency to seek approval from those who are in authority over us. While there is nothing inherently wrong with that, as long as it is with pure motives, realize that true and pure justice comes only from God. Verse number 27, the righteous despise the unjust, the wicked despise the godly. This is as old as time itself. Those who follow God's precepts have difficulty dealing with those who do not. On the flip side of that, those who practice wickedness despise those who strive to follow God and His precepts that are found in His Word. Today on our Wisdom Trail, we continue to explore the series of Solomon's Proverbs that were assembled by King Hezekiah. Next week, we move on to the final segment of Proverbs. All the Proverbs provide us with wisdom, insight, and understanding in a myriad of relationship issues. Regardless of where you are on your faith walk, if the precepts of Proverbs are followed, your life will be rich and satisfying. Take these seeds and plant them in your heart so that you'll reap a harvest of wisdom. And I would challenge you to take just one of these precepts that you learned today in Proverbs and commit yourself to applying it to your life. Tomorrow we will hike another short trail in our Wisdom Unplugged series where we will discover an inspirational wisdom quote. So encourage your friends and family to join us and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks or read the Wisdom Journal, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.